Yeah, there we were. Bit overdressed for the occasion.
What were we supposed to wear? All the signs are pointing to a birth of a king.
Was that not a king that we visited?
Well, yeah, but you'll have to admit, he wasn't your typical king. I mean, we've seen some kings in our day, eh? Remember the guy over in Syria? The palace with the marble floors and the four donkey garage? Now that's living like a king.
But there's still something royal about this little dude. Maybe it was his mother. She was just a teenager, but so calm. It was almost like she knew something the rest of us didn't. And the whole place itself, Bethlehem, just a tiny village in the middle of nowhere. But the way the star rested right over the shed where they were staying.
Speaking of which, I thought you were never going to ask for directions. I mean, we come all the way from Persia, across Iraq into Judea, all places we've never been before, hoping to find a little baby with our only clue being the bright star. And AAA was no help at all. It was like they'd never mapped a route following a star before.
Hey, I finally did stop and ask someone, didn't I?
Yeah, great choice. You asked the very person who wanted the kid dead.
Hey, how was I supposed to know Herod would be so upset about the birth of a little baby? Who would have thought this kid would ever be a threat to someone like Herod and the Romans, for goodness sake? Born in that cow barn, teenage mother, working class father, the only other visitors who came beside us were a bunch of scruffy shepherds.
Yeah, their aroma still lingered. But you're right. Why should someone like that be a threat to someone like that? Why did Herod have to fear from the little baby?
We should be able to figure this out. After all, we are wise men.
Yeah, they don't call us that for nothing. Why was that little tyke a big threat to the old King Herod? I give up.
You know, what does a ruler depend on to rule?
A big army.
That's one thing, but even more important than military force for getting people to accept you as their leader.
People wanting you to be their leader. Trombones. 76 trombones. Trombones?
Well, yeah, sort of. You need people to want to follow you, to think that you got what they need, that, that your plan is the right plan to get them where you want to go.
I used to play the trombone.
Focus. Let's focus here. Herod has the military power, right? No one can deny that. But if someone else came along with a better idea about how to get people where they want to go, they might start following the person.
And all the king's horses and all the king's men are no match for a good parade.
Now we're getting somewhere. So if Herod thought that this little kid might grow up to one day be like those Jewish prophets in the old days, challenging the king, talking about justice and righteousness, things that regular kids don't usually care too much, kings don't usually care too much about, but which regular people do care about, then things could start coming apart for old King Herod.
And once Humpty Dumpty has a great fall,
You've got one big omelet.
what made Herod think that this baby could be the end of Humpty Dumpty?
Well, first of all, rulers were just born nervous about things like this, that people would come along with other ideas. Maybe people think that they don't need the king and all his military might anymore. And as we heard there in the palace, Herod's own people could tell us that the birth of a king was going to take place in Bethlehem.
And then we show up, big shots from the east, stopping in to ask directions to the home of some king of Jews that we've heard of being born nearby.
And Herod puts two and two together, and the kid's got to go.
So that's why he wanted us to come back to give him a little report and what we found. He didn't want to come and worship the baby. He wanted to
Who said you weren't a wise man? That's why the angels warned us to return home by another way.
And I thought AAA just messed up our routing again. We were part of a covenant operation, giving the king the runaround, taking another way home. Little baby Jesus, your secret's safe with us. King Herod, don't mess with the wise men.
I'm still a little worried about the kid. He's only a baby, and his parents are no match for the power of angry and insecure kings. And for all I can tell, there's a lot riding on this little child.
Well, the way I look at it, he's in good hands. The great God of the heavens led us to him and then made sure he didn't let Herod get to him. God will find a way to protect him until he's had a chance to do what he came to do.
So what do you make of all this? What's going to become of the child?
He's got his work cut out for him. Lots of people would rather be in Herod's parade. It's the one they're used to. But we've been following leaders like that and plans like that for centuries. And look where it's gotten us. People will soon start to see through all that, won't they?
Guess it all depends on what the child does when he becomes a man. if he has the courage to speak out for a better way, and if he lives what he preaches, who knows what impact it might have. Of course, it could probably get him killed.
But it might also get him followed.
Well, fellow wise guy, that was quite a trip. It was great traveling with you.
Same here, and too bad Prince Shalzar couldn't make it. Then there would have been enough. There would have been 3 of us to carry all the gold, frankincense, and myrrh. My back was killing me after a while.
Thought about renting a couple of camels to carry the gifts.
We could have taken camels. We didn't have to lug all that stuff around.
Wait. Think about it. Where would they get camels for all those Christmas plays they'll be doing about our little trip? It'll be enough of a challenge coming up with cool outfits like these.
You've got a point. You are a wise man indeed.